Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some good daylight here. It's been fantastic. The weather has been playing a really good role here. But yeah, the star of the day is right here. So in this particular video, we're going to be looking at, we're doing quite a long distance, man. We're heading towards Goa. We're going towards Tapola Beach. So this is not a small review. We're doing close to about 1,200, 1,300 kilometers. And I also did ride the bike 2 weeks ago for about 800 kilometers. It went back to Ducati. And now we got the Desert X back again. Alright, ladies and gents, we've had a fantastic ride from Bangalore, and this is probably one of my longest ride on a big capacity motorcycle, especially from the Italian family, the Ducati Desert X. So we've taken a wonderful, beautiful scenic route thanks to some of my friends who've joined this ride on the ZX10R and the Ninja 1000. We've had a great time riding this motorcycle. We're probably doing about 1,400 kilometers before this bike goes back to Ducati Bangalore, VFM Bangalore. But prior to this, I also had experience in riding this for about 800 kilometers while we took it earlier this month. Now, coming through this route, we had a mixture of fast highways. We had some beautiful twisties, lot of rain. We actually went away from Bangalore for the rain, and here we are again at the rain. Today it's a little bit sunny, so which is why we are here with the beautiful motorcycle, the Desert X. All right, coming to the overall handling and the comfort of this motorcycle, I think I've had absolutely no complaints, man. You're looking at good travel suspension in the front and the rear. You've got good knobby tires. I would call it the dual sport Pirelli STRs. But again, say you're doing about 1,500 kilometers in a day. The seats, the handlebar position, the ergonomics, the windscreen is extremely comfortable. Now, if there is something that I want to point out about the Desert X in terms of the comfort department, the way you keep your leg, your knees, saddling on the motorcycle, it's absolutely great. But say for example, you're doing about 250, 300 non-stop, that is where the rear, the seat on the motorcycle is a little bit on the softer side. Now, soft seats are good, but it's not great for long distance touring. I'll tell you why. The seat on the Desert X is wide, it's very nice, right? But when you're sitting on the saddle for more than 3 hours, 4 hours, it's so soft that your bones start to get into the plastic or the fiber of the seat. I think that is probably the only negative point I have about the Desert X in the comfort department. Alright, so coming to the overall performance of the Ducati Desert X, you're looking at about 110 bhp and 93 Newton meters of torque. Now, these might not be massive numbers for the 23 or 24 lakhs that you're paying for this bike. But again, the way the power is delivered all the way from 2000 to 10,000 RPM is the red line. Now, we've done some crazy speeds on a adventure motorbike. I have not done these kind of speeds on the Tigers, the KTM 890. The Africa Twin, maybe yes, but again, you're looking at a slightly larger segment in terms of the size of the motorcycle. Keeping the size in mind, I think 110 bhp and 93 Newton meters of torque is very much usable. If you look at this motorcycle, it can look a little bit daunting, it can look big, but once you swing your leg over this motorcycle, you will realize how easy it is to ride. Because the only part where you feel that the motorcycle is quite big is the entire front end. You're looking at a massive 21-litre tank with this Dakar style fairing, which is where the entire weight is. But don't get me wrong here, it is not front heavy unless and until you have that massive 18 or 17 litres filled till the brim. Like right now, we have about 6 or 7 litres in the tank. The bike feels perfect. In terms of performance, like I said, it's amazing. On the highway, you can manage easily 130, 140, you can cruise. You still have a lot of power to get into the 200 range. But again, those are not speeds that we normally do on the road. Keeping the engine in the sweet spot between 140, 150, you have a lot of torque throughout the rev range, and you get an astonishing mileage of about between 17 to 19 kmpl. That also translates to about 320 to 350 kilometers on a full tank. That is pretty good considering you have 110 horses backing you up. Right, so when you combine all of this in the handling and comfort department, I would give it a 9 on 10. You look at engine and performance, I think it's a 10 on 10. Yes, it can heat up a little bit. You're looking at an L-twin. This cylinder sits right under you, so say stop and go traffic in city traffic, it can get a little hot, but again, this is not a motorcycle for you to ride in the city. You're getting out to do your trips, you might want to leave early in the morning and probably come back later in the night, so you don't get stuck in chock-a-block traffic. Now, all in all, it is, I would say it's a do-it-all machine, provided you have some great skills. The reason I'm talking about skills is even if you don't know to ride off-road or off the beaten path, you're looking at a slightly taller seat setup. The stock one comes at 875 mm. Now, I'm 5'9", and it is perfect. As long as your inner seams are slightly on the thinner side or on the fit side, I would say, this bike works really well. Now, for those wondering if you can get a lower seat and a lower sprung suspension, yes, Ducati does sell a kit which has a lower seat with the lowering suspension kit. That brings it down to a massive 145 mm. That is way lower than the KTM Adventure 390. Now, if you look at the entire package, the bike looks tall, you've got good travel, you've got good suspension. I also forgot to mention how beautiful it handles even on the twisties. It can keep up with some of the Leatt class or the, the 600 segments, the super sports. It's that bloody good even on the twisties. With the Pirelli STRs, it does a fantastic job. Alright, so picking up the Ducati Desert X or any Ducati for that matter, yes, it is a little more expensive than its competition. Now, this is probably one motorcycle where I wouldn't recommend kitting it up completely to the T and making it heavy, because the only thing that you would need on the Desert X is probably the crash bar and your radiator guard, because you don't get it from the factory and they would cost you between 40 to 50,000 rupees depending on the brand you buy. Apart from that, the headlights, everything is just fantastic. You really don't need aux lights unless and until you are riding only in the night time. These lights are first class. Accessories, apart from that, one mobile mount, one tank guard, one radiator guard, you're pretty much sorted. Say you're doing solo riding, a 30 or a 40 liter tail bag, you can mount it on the tail and it's really easy. You work it with rock straps, it works absolutely great. Now, when you compare it to the competition, giving you a summary of my entire ride experience of the Ducati Desert X, this falls very close to the KTM 890 Adventure R in terms of the rideability and the weight management. Now, if you're asking me what about the Tiger 900, yes, it is a brilliant machine. But say if you're someone of my height and my physique, I would not be comfortable in taking the Tiger 900 off the beaten path because it's big, it's massive, and the weight is all around the motorcycle. Unlike the KTM 890, which lies just under your legs because the fuel tank is right there, the Desert X, it has a little bit weight on the front, like I said, because of the fuel tank. But apart from that, it is beautifully balanced. Now, if you'd want to test ride this with the Tiger or the 890, I would suggest you do it the same day, one after another, to understand the way each motorcycle rides. I'm not saying this is the best amongst the three, but it's definitely worth giving it a shot. So like I said, just test ride all of these, the 890, the F900 GS, the Tiger 900 and the Desert X. You will know what I'm talking about when it comes to torque. Ducati is the monster of torque and top end. That's it and done. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Let me know in the comments if I've missed out something. We are here at this beautiful place. I think it's time to wrap it up and get off the gears and get some beers. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, you guys ride hard, ride safe. Peace.